Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. In this video, I'm going to show some winter pruning that I have to do in my landscape here in Raleigh, North Carolina, Zone 7B. I haven't really shown a whole lot of pruning here because all these landscape plants are pretty new. I'm just getting to the point where I'm getting a crazy limb here or there that can be taken off. One of the main things about pruning in the winter time is you need to know kind of what you have in the landscape. I've got azaleas, like this native azalea right here, and you can actually see the flower buds on the top of it. This is not a plant we'd be pruning right now. Even if it needed pruning, we'll wait until after it flowers. So you kind of need to know what you have, and it's one of the not harder things to learn, but just with time and a lot of gardening experience, you kind of learn what you can and can't prune, and when you can or can't prune it. Early on, I think Dr. Armitage's advice is great. Just prune after flowering. If something needs to be pruned, prune it after it flowers. If it's a flowering thing and you can't go wrong. But I like the option of being able to winter prune on some of my flowering things, and knowing what you have is kind of important. If it blooms early in the spring, like azaleas, good example of that, then typically you're not doing any winter pruning on them. The flower buds are already on them. But let's take a look at some things I do, in fact, need to prune. I'm going to start with my Tokyo Tower Kyananthus, or my Japanese or Chinese fringe tree over here, which has got some really strange growth on the side of it. Here's my Tokyo Tower Kyananthus, or fringe tree. It's a very fastigiate growing variety. I mean, it's upright and narrow. It's kind of perfect for my small landscape here in Raleigh. It's got a crazy side limb on it, like almost like a second leader that goes just above the graft down at the bottom of the tree that needs to come off. Plus, if you'll notice up here at the top of the tree, I've got one branch that's now 1.5 feet taller. So kind of minor overall pruning. I don't want two trunks on this tree because it just will increase the chance of any snow or ice damage on it. Okay, so here you can see what I'm talking about, where it basically has two trunks. The graft on this tree, Tokyo Tower, is a grafted variety. The graft is down here, so it's above the graft, which is good. If you see any growth coming out below that graft ever, that's a different tree and needs to be cut off immediately. But I'm going to take this off, but I'm going to lessen the weight of this big giant branch to start with. I'm just going to use my hand pruners, take off some of this this weight before I cut the larger branch off, and I'm just going to use my bypass loppers. Make sure you have a good sharp tool for this, and I can just cut this super clean with a good tool, just like that. Not going to paint anything on this, not going to do anything to it. I made a good, nice clean cut. It'll heal over just fine. I've got some other low branches on this tree that need to come off. I always say, if you know you're going to take it off eventually, just go ahead and take it off sooner than later. I'm going to keep coming up here. I think somewhere right in here will be where I'm going to allow the lowest limb on this tree. So just like that. And then I could have done some of this pruning when I put it in the ground, honestly, a year or so ago, but I've allowed it to establish itself before I started cutting on it. All I'm going to do with this branch, find a leaf node along the side where you see where it would definitely leaf out, and just cut just above that and kind of even out the top on this tree. I'm going to do the same thing right over here, just like that, and boom, just like that. Looks so much better. It's a completely different tree without two trunks, and now it looks like a tree, actually. So let's move on. Before we move on, the reason I pruned this one that was 1.5 feet taller than the rest of the tree was just to even out the top canopy on it. Now, I should get from each of these terminal ends, I should get about 3 branches out of each of them, and it should look uniform, having the top, kind of all the same height. Next up is my Golden Falls Redbud, which has this beautiful yellow foliage on it all season, this incredible weeping habit. This plant, you guys will not believe how fast this thing actually grows. I'm going to go over to Jackson Nursery this year. They've got them staked in the field, and they're about 2 feet in height in the spring. And by the time you guys see them in August, they'll already be head high and weeping down. Incredibly fast growing, these weeping redbuds are. And that means that they come all the way back down to the ground and just start dragging the ground. And so it's time to clean this thing up. It's been in the ground for, I don't know, 18 months or something at this point, and it has grown a whole lot. I'm going to start off, I've got a couple just low branches on the main trunk that I want to take off, similar to how I just did that Tokyo Tower Kyananthus. So I'm just gonna, real quick, again, make good sharp cut. That's a branch that's right on the stem. So I'm not gonna have any branching below, let's say 3 feet on that main stem. Kind of no purpose in it. They immediately drop down and go down to the ground. So that branch was on the interior of the plant anyway. So no real purpose in it. The branches on the other side are so small, I can just use my hand pruners. Again, just make sure you're making super clean cuts. Little tiny pieces on the side like that. So, okay, there you go. So basically I've cleaned the trunk up to about 3 feet in height, and then, you know, going up from there, I'll allow these weeping branches. From here, I just want to limb the thing up where all of these pieces that are hanging all the way down to the ground are maybe 1.5 to 2 feet off the ground, because as soon as it leaves out in the spring, it's immediately going to start growing back toward the ground again. So by May or June, it's going to be dragging the ground again. So again, I'm just going to pick a height and come in here and prune them off evenly. So this is a really quick and easy task, really. And I think that's it. So I've got them all, you know, about the same height off the ground. So that's all I really need to do to this. It's going to flush out. It's going to flower in March, late March probably, and then leaf out in early April. And again, by June, it'll be dragging the ground again. All of these little pieces like this can just go in the compost pile. So real quickly, after you've cut, limb these branches up, if you want to, you can actually see on the stem here where the next node on the branch is, where the leaves are going to come from. If you want to come back in here and cut just below that node, below the node, because it's hanging down above the node, if it was pointing up, you can. And that'll just, clean them up some so you don't end up with the dead stems hanging out, because that's where the leaf's coming from. Everything past that is just going to be, kind of a dead little branch. So if you want to get in here and clean them up, you can. I probably won't, but again, they can be cut just to that node where the leaves are going to come from. And it's very obvious on this redbud where the leaves are going to come from. So this is a Camellia sasanqua that has just got a few crazy branches on it. Crazy branches can be cut off plants anytime you want to prune them off. It doesn't really matter. This is a fall flowering camellia, and these would typically be pruned in the late winter, after they've fully finished blooming, which this one has. Again, it's completely dormant, so I'm going to go ahead and do it now. And really all I'm trying to do, I don't want to turn this into a perfect little boxwood type thing. I just want to take these branches off that have run away and gotten away from the plant a bit ahead of schedule. So I'm just going to go down and cut these. Since I'm only taking 3 or 4 branches off and not doing a quick thing, I will be kind of conscious of pruning it just above a leaf node like that, where I know they'll leaf out right behind my cut. And again, sharp tools is always the key to this. But just taking off the branches that have kind of gotten out of control, or the ones that are slightly wider than I want it to be. But again, not trying to turn it into, a boxwood. It's just, I'd rather have it have a natural look to it. Sometimes you can take a branch that's obviously just more vigorous than the rest of the plant. I need to get these leaves out of here. Like this one, which is so much more vigorous than the rest of the plant, and really go down in the middle of the plant, and take that one way back. Like that, and then it'll fill back in there pretty quick as soon as it leaves out in the spring. But there you go, just kind of more of a natural pruning. I didn't turn it into a boxwood, but I've gotten these branches that are this tall, back down into the plant a bit. So this one's kind of interesting. This is a Marvel Mahonia. It's got a single trunk, and now it's 5 feet high or so, and it just won't branch for me. So I want to cut some of the height out of this thing to create some of that branching and make it look more like a traditional, these media type Mahonia grow as shrubs. In the future, the way to actually prune these is to take the tall branch and cut it all the way down to the ground. The problem here is this thing's never suckered or never created additional branching, so it's just one trunk. So I need to cut this thing down. That will encourage some of that additional branching from the ground. And in the future, I'll just take the tall one and cut it all the way down to the ground and leave the remaining ones that are the height that I want to keep them. But again, at some point, I just got to stop this one from continuing to go up and get it under control. This is a plant that actually bites back a bit, so we'll be careful in how we handle this. It's got definitely a thorny creature or a spiky creature, but I'm just taking the top out of it. Nice pear, nice clean cut. That's perfect. Again, the plant's fully dormant, so I'm not going to encourage any growth here while we're getting nights in the low 20s and even teens. There you go. And now it's going to branch down at the bottom, create a very different growth habit going forward. This is also a time of year, everything's a little thinner out here than it normally is, and so I can see weeds. And I've got a few Japanese ligustrum that have come up in the bottom of this plant, and they're easier to pull out. The ground is soft. That was much easier to pull out than it is any other time of the year. But you can see with that similar color how it had kind of masked itself in the center of the plant during the growing season. It had grown that big without me seeing it. So good time of year to be pulling out your noxious weeds that are inside of your plants as well. This is definitely hellebore cleanup season. See all the new growth that's coming from the center. These will be flowering and starting to actually put on a little color now. This is the time of year they put on all this new growth, and you can just come in here and take off these oldest tattered leaves from last year. I've got so many new ones in the landscape that I'm not cleaning them up, but this was it just happened to be a larger one that I just go around, take off this old foliage and cut it all the way back to the base of the plant. And what I'm left with is just that new growth coming out from the bottom. These are hardy up to like zone 4 or 5, and so for some of you, they almost die completely back to the ground anyway. But down here in the south, they stay evergreen, but they just look tattered like that. So I go in and clean them up this time of year as the new growth is starting. Another thing to clean up, and I think cast iron plants are actually undervalued because they can look tattered in the landscape, because a lot of folks don't know that this is the time of year in the winter, late winter, to go in here and do some maintenance on them and go and cut out the kind of tattered, tired leaves off of them and leave the fresh growth that happened late in the season. Leave that on them, and then new growth will come up. They look a whole lot better if you'll go in here and clean up. And I've got a better example, because this is a tiny one, but I got a better example of it. This variety is called Stars and Stripes. It's still immature. You'll notice if you get any of these interesting cast iron plants, it takes a year or two for them to establish, the variegations in the leaves. So this one has the variegated stripes, and then eventually have little dots in it as well. Great variety. I've got lots of different interesting cast iron plants in the landscape. But again, this is the time of year. This is an old leaf right here from a year ago, maybe more than a year ago, that just, you can come in here and just cut them right down to the ground. I've already got new growth right here coming up for this next year. You see it right there? So these are going to be beautiful, nice, fresh leaves, and I just don't want any of this old, tattered material mixed in with that. This gets harder and harder as the spring comes on to clean them up. So it's best to do it, while they're fully dormant this time of year. Just clean up anything that doesn't look great, and then the plant can really put its energy into putting on new fresh growth. Again, make sure your pruners are good and sharp for this. But any of these leaves that are just kind of broken in half, there you go. And it'll look thin for a few weeks, and then the new growth will take over, and it should have more variegation, more color, and be overall more vigorous. And then stand back and make sure you've gotten them all, because I stood up and the one you guys could see the whole time that you were screaming, cut that one off. I did see it eventually. Here's another hellebore in here, and I don't see any new growth. These are tiny ones. I planted these from little tiny pots this past year. Here's another ligustrum, unfortunately. Pull it up by the root while it's easy to do so. I don't see any new growth coming on these yet, and so I'm not gonna clean them up yet. I'm just gonna leave them be. They're just smaller plants. Need a little bit of time to get going. So, again, I'm not gonna prune them until I see that new growth coming. A couple things in the front garden that definitely need to be pruned here now that they are completely dormant. Number one is this Hydrangea paniculata. It may be a good idea to prune your paniculatas every year once they get dormant, just because ice and snow is some threat to them. Right here you can see where this got bent down in this past week's ice storm. I cut the ones that I had in the back garden and I just forgot to do this one before that ice storm. And again, you can see where it pulled it to the ground. Luckily, we didn't get a whole lot of ice and it didn't end up damaging it, but it definitely splayed it open a bit. This, you can either, if you want to, you can get in here and be super detailed about this and find the leaf nodes on the stems. They're obvious where the leaves are coming next year, and cut them just above a leaf node if you want to. I find with these Hydrangea paniculatas, it really doesn't matter. You can just get in here. It's gonna be fine with or without being that detailed about it. And I get in here and just take off all of these old flowers at this point, and makes it less vulnerable to ice. It evens it out for the next growing season, and they'll all end up blooming. This will flush out, grow about 2 feet, and that's about where the bloom height will be on it. If you have limelight or something like that, limelight can grow 3 or 4 feet each year before it blooms. So you want to, cut it, to the appropriate height, knowing that where your bloom height's going to be. But these dwarf cultivars tend to only grow about 2 feet before they flower. Just kind of going through here and making sure I get it all. All of this material can just head to a compost bin. But there you go, just like that. Less vulnerable to ice. It's now, because it's uniform, all the flowers are going to end up in the same height and just, really look almost formal, honestly. Got a butterfly bush next to it. I cut all my larger butterfly bushes before the ice storm last week, if you watched that video. Again, with these, I just want to go down and find some growth along the stem and cut just above that growth. Probably needed a bigger pruner for that, but again, I just go down here, I look for growth, cut just outside of that growth, and move along pretty quickly. But this thing's finally dormant. It was actually trying to grow almost, all through December. It was growing, and finally got it to sleep enough here to do this job without causing any damage. But there you go. I think that's everything I want to do. Again, you'll probably find some weeds underneath it that you didn't see during the growing season that you can pull out of there. But there you go. Boom. All right, perfect. That's it. One butterfly bush cut back. This is a dwarf variety. You saw it was only this tall. Bloomed all summer. But think about this. It has to put on new growth in order to flower. And so if I left it this high, it would have to get this high to flower. So even though it's a dwarf cultivar, they will keep growing. So I want to cut it down to here. It'll flush out to about here, and by June, it'll be flowering again. Honestly, I have a lot of fun pruning things. It's the cleaning the stuff up. That is not the enjoyable part of pruning, but I got to come in here, clean all this stuff up, get it on the compost pile. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I have a ton of pruning to do out here this year that I want to show you guys. It just was unnecessary up until this point, but I want, I've got some things in this landscape that we're going to try to get quite big, and that I want to control the size on. So I want to show you guys those details coming up. So again, thanks for following along.